coming down. Does
he have it?
He's going to get it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. Yes, it's Thursday night, it's Virtual Motorsports Car Championship, and it's the NARS series. And well, where are we this evening? Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you now, we are at Mosport. The track itself, 3.96 kilometers, 2.46 miles, 10 corners. Is it difficult? No. Should it be difficult? No. But it is multi-class, but it's going to make it difficult. So they're going to be looking out, going around the outside of turn 2. You could end up off at the circuit there as well. Up into Moss as well, down to Mario Andretti, straight away leading into 8 and 9. Well, they're probably going to be the opportunities if you can get through. Is it going to be difficult? Absolutely. So they've got to be careful on that one. Schedule itself, as you can see, we're here at the 60 minutes of Mosport. Then we go down on for round 8 on the 25th of July. For the 60 minutes of Road America. Then you go to VIR, Indianapolis, and Road Atlanta. Well, let's check them out because we've got to have a look at the strategies for the GT cars here as well this evening. And as you can see, cars to beat, the FE Vantage, should be an interesting one. The MEC8, FE AMG, and the ME NNSX tyres, medium tyres, fuel. Well, this should be one stop on 30 to 35 minutes, but let's just see how they get on. But I'm pretty sure for GT3s, it will only be one stop. In the Hypercars, however, it's the rear-wheel drive ARX06, rear-wheel drive 963, and the all-wheel drive Tipo 6 are the cars to beat. They've got the medium and the hards, 20 to 25 minutes for fuel runs, 2 stops. Yeah, probably about right, to be fair, guys, on the amount of fuel that these guys go through. Well, let's have a look at the challenges this week. Rain in the area. Tyre wear. And the timing with traffic, that is going to be the big one. The timing with the traffic, we know how much the traffic can, what sort of issues they can cause, but it is on the faster cars, let's not forget, to get through. So we'll see how that one works out. Right, the standings itself currently in its current formation. Dan Kirby out on front on 103 points with Alex King in second on 99. Brian Owen 67, and you've got Mike Bell, Franco Alvarez, Adrian Rice, Ben Kesby, Carl Besser, Don Hunter, and Troy Uyan on the bottom there. In the Hypercar and as well, Jerry Chen is out in front quite comfortably really at the moment on 104 points with Scarpaper in second on 79 and Wayne Galvin in third on 76. They're quite close together with George Angelidis on 69. Then you got Norm Graff, Gilles Lalonde, Lanny Hall, Diego Rodriguez, Felipe Ducardi, Gordon Beck, Jerry Hamilton, Jason Whitehead, Tom Mountjoy and Ken Scott. In the GT3 Pros, it is Eduardo Bonica out in front with JT Tammy in second, and then Mateo Santos in third. Michael Logg in fourth, and Eugene Mazur in fifth. And you've got Matt Overton, Johnny Gutierrez, Alicia Neto, Max Sunflat, Dan Kirby, James Walker, Vinicius Goncalves, and our very own Mr. Ross Smith is unfortunately down in 13th. Beyond that, of course, as you can see on the right-hand side, there are even more all the way down into the fabulous 25th place of Felicius de Oliveira. In the LMGT3 AMS, it's Alan Holden out in front with Stephen Miller in second, Sean Kelly in third, James Bowders in fourth, and then William Schlickling in fifth, Alexander McQuarrie, Josh McClinsky, Ryan Reyes, Cole McMillan, and Tom Nacella round out the top 10. Then you got Oliver Day, Carl Strawwell, Gina Bordelli, Michael Mudge, Philip Stocks, Stacey Scott, Mike Olsen, and Ryan Reyes in the team standings. Well, Flying Kiwi Racing out in front on 203 points. Alex King and Joey Chen. No surprise, really. Paul Brothers Racing in second. Champion Motorsports in third. Barely Functional Motorsports in fourth. PHO Wilson Racing in fifth. Then you've got Red Weasel Racing. Love that. Shadow Tree Motorsport, Vice Racing, and then CMS GT3. You have listened to me waffle on for the first 5 minutes of the whole entire broadcast, so I think we're going to bring Michael David in and have a quick chat with him. Michael, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
I'm doing just great, James, and I love hearing you waffle on and on and on. It actually is quite relaxing. I haven't worked with you in a while, so excited to be here. Great to be here, James.
Yeah, it should be a good one, mate. I think it's going to be very interesting as well. You know, it's a 60-minute race. Should be fun, right?
I mean, we're looking at, what, 1 minute 8, 1 minute 9 lap times for the hypercars. 1:18, somewhere in that for the GT3 cars. 60 minutes, I think we're going to see quite a bit of traffic, so that's going to be a huge dilemma for everybody as we watch these warm-ups. I'm already seeing quite a few hypercars in GT3 traffic, so that's going to be something that we're going to have to deal with all night long. These drivers are very good drivers, they know what they're doing, but this isn't exactly the widest track, so things are going to happen whether you want them to happen or not. I know you touched on the rain. The forecast I saw shows 0% rain chance, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. If you look at the sky right there, it's clear blue sky, so hopefully that won't be a problem, but I mean, it's always fun to just throw a little monkey wrench in things.
Well, yeah, let's hope, I say let's hope not, but you never know. Let's see what happens here as well. And as per normal, I have got the fabulous Matthew Overton in the booth with me. He's come in and popped in for his normal chat before we go. Now, the question is can Matt hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hello, dear Matt.
Quite happily.
Oh, as we see a Hypercar and GT3 come together. Not a good start.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully we won't see too much of that. And I have to echo Michael's comments. This is going to be a very, very busy race for everybody. We saw that at Laguna Seca. We're going to see it here. Everyone showed a lot of patience at Laguna, I thought, and I expect the same to be going on here. We had the discussion during the pre-race driver's brief and just pointed out that for several of these corners, the long sweepers, especially coming out of turn 2, and then the long sweeper going down towards Moss, is the GTs and the hypercars are almost forced into the same line, and they're not that far off in terms of speed, so a lot of judgment and care required. But everyone's really pumped up for it. We had some great laps in terms of the quality, some super racing going on there, so I think everyone's pumped for a great race, and the hurricane has passed, so I think we're going to get great racing conditions too.
Awesome stuff. Traffic management, Matt.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Come on, you're in that GT3 class, so tell us what's going to... Oh, as we see a hypercar going around there as well. Tell us how we're going to manage it, or how are you going to manage it being in the GT3s?
It's going to come down to be really clear the line you're taking, to be clear with the hypercar coming through, and just eyes on stocks for us in terms of what's happening, and especially when you've got 2 or 3 behind, they'll be fighting. Trying just to make sure that you're as clear as possible to those drivers so that you didn't get caught up in the balla, and that they don't try and pass you before the corner. Is that the leader has good timing on our part, that they are stuck behind us to get through the corner, and then they can all rattle away afterwards. but the racing gods are not like that. We're going to get half of them arriving after the start of the corner. One will get by before the start of the corner, and then the other two will be champing at the bit, trying to get by the GT as they make their way through.
Okay.
So, patience.
I'm also seeing that you got a stop-go penalty.
Yes, I do. That was from my inability to manage traffic at Belle Isle. I haven't raced since then, so you remember that with at the unusual circumstance of a GT trying to dive bomb by accident a hypercar. So this is my time in purgatory. So managing how I do that, get back out and get racing again is going to be interesting.
You naughty boy, you. Nathaniel McPhee, welcome into YouTube chat as well. Sean Owen, Kim D, thank you so much for joining us. Right, I've got about 45 seconds. Ross Smith, can you hear me?
And I'm going to run.
All right, man, take care. Nope, Ross Smith can't hear me.
I'm right here.
Right, we've got 40 seconds, Ross. What's happening with the mods? Go for it.
Well, short and tall of it is for 2025, both modern and historic. We are going through the test mule phase right now, getting all of those in place. All of the historics are now done as far as mules go. So it's on to alpha testing, getting all of that in place. And I'm actually not racing tonight because I'm working on the mules for the modern series into next year. So wish me luck on that, and then we'll get these off to the testers, and then out comes all the graphical updates that we've been promising.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much for that one there, Ross. I'm sure we'll have a chat with Ross as the evening goes in. I'm sure he'll pop in and out. He can't resist. So there we go.
Of course not.
No, you can't. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for coming in there and making me not look like I told a complete and utter fib. Right, we have come to the end of the 5-minute warm-up here as well. Michael, Mosport, we both driven it. We both know it. How difficult is it going to be for a multi-class race?
It's going to be tight for a lot of these tracks, or a lot of these turns. Like you said, they're going to be coming to some very close racing, coming into Moss corner for certain. These GT3 cars and the hypercars are going to be about the same speed, like he said. It's going to be dangerous. We're going to see incidents no matter what. Hopefully we don't see anything too crazy, but these guys are going to have to be on their tippy toes and heads on a swivel all night long. I am also very curious to how a GT3 car is dive bombing a hypercar, so I'm going to have to go back and watch that replay and figure that one out.
Yeah, go for it on that one. Right, let's bring you up the starting order. Troy Huyan is on pole position with Alex King in second and Dan Kirby in third, and Adrian Rice is down in fourth place, and Franco Alvarez in fifth. Then we've got the Hypercar Scar Pope, Norm Graff, Wayne Galvin rounding out the top 8. That's going to be a fun one to keep an eye on, the Hypercar AMS. Then Ben Kesby, Gilles Lalonde, Castro and Eduardo Benica, the first of the GT3s. Yes, there is only a few hypercars, so be aware on that one. There's 15. Then we've got Dom Fryman, Chris Durdham, JC Tammy, and Alexander McQuarrie in 16th place. I do agree with you, Nat, as well. Stephen Miller in 17, Max Sunderland Lap, Eric Jacobs, and Mika Locke. Nathaniel McPhee, this might be wild. I've got a funny feeling it could be wild on that one. Vinicius Goncalves, Johnny Gutierrez, Cole McMillan, and James Walker will be on the 24th. You see the hypercars on their warm-up lap now. Then we've got Alan Holden, Ryan Reyes, John Mayer, and Oliver Day. They're on their way round turn 2 currently, so stay tuned. If you've got about 30 seconds to grab your drinks and popcorn. Tom Nacella, Sean Kelly, Jerry Chen, Brian Hall. I believe there was a Jerry Hamilton and a no qualification as well, so we'll have to see. Is he even here on that one? Then Lanny Old, Jason Whitehead, William Schittling, Matthew Overton towards the back end of the grid, so keep an eye out as we get rumbling along once more. Dan Kirby sitting at the front here, ready to rock and roll. Michael as well. What's Dan got to do? Is he got to get away cleanly at the beginning and hope that he stays out in front?
Dan Kirby just has to do what Dan Kirby does. It's interesting to see that he is leading the hypercar class, and he's also in 10th place in the GT3 class.
Yeah.
Daniel Kirby is just absolutely fast no matter what he's driving. So I think as long as he's able to get a clean start, you know, he's going to have to keep everything calm around him, but it's going to be hard to beat Daniel. I know when I was doing the Glen, the 60 laps at the Glen, he just absolutely just completely ran the show from start to finish, and that was, you know, a dominating experience. So I'd be very surprised if, unless Daniel Kirby, something happens to him early in the race or some sort of traffic. I mean, he's on pole for a reason. Dude's fast.
Yeah, I do fully agree with you. He is very, very quick, and there's others in the series that will confirm. He's on his way round turn 9, the left-hander. Ben Kesby has left a massive gap. I'm not entirely sure why you would want to leave a gap like that, because you are literally freeing Dan Kirby up on that one. Standing starts.
That's why he left the gap. So we're gonna have a standing start here. I guess it just didn't really matter, and maybe he just wanted Kirby to have that a little bit longer sitting on the grid with cold tires.
Yeah, that's an interesting outtake on this scenario. Okay.
Just a quick interjection. I think what may have happened was the server still had the standing start formation lap setting in there, so they ended up coming back around. They normally do a manual formation lap because it would just be a quick standing and go without a formation, but in this case I don't think it was updated on the server when it was reset. So they're going to do another time around, I believe, and then should be good to green.
I was going to say, I've never heard of a standing start in a multi-class with Hypercars, because that would have been very, very exciting, Mr. Smith.
On one of the smallest tracks in the series, yeah.
Yes, it would have been
carnage everywhere.
Yeah. First corner chaos completely there as well. If that was a standing start, but we are so we are going round again, so that's always good as well. I can stop having a mad panic about that as well. Where do we think, Mike, the danger areas of Mosport's going to be? Where are they really going to put themselves in danger if they do anything crazy?
Last corner, it's going to be the tightest turn on the on the track. You got the two right-handers back to back. There's just not a lot of room there. It's extremely tight. I think if we're going to see any real chaos, it's going to be right there. You know, it's just really interesting to me to see what these cars they're going to be able to do when they come up on traffic in Mosport.
I'm not entirely.
I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest.
I think the thing that they would have to do is just, I think, sit behind. Now, me personally, right, I'm quite patient when it comes to multi-class. I would sit behind and get round Moss and then do them on the straight, right? Why would I jeopardize myself going in to Moss or halfway through Moss when I've got a nice long straight for them to go at? Now, obviously, let's just bring quickly Ross in as well when we've got this short time. Ross, you're normally in a GT car. What do you think? Is that what the ideal scenario from the hypercar? Sitting behind you until you get around Moss and then overtaking you on the straight?
Yeah, I mean, in general, you want to stick back where things are getting dicey, where it's kind of slow, because that's going to be your ultimate power moves, just coming off the corner and getting around. Trying to dive bomb in, especially in some of these corners here where the GT3s just have so much more of a braking advantage, it's not going to do you any good. But at the same time, and like I just said, it is one of the shorter tracks on the calendar, so the hypercars do tend to get pretty excited as they're going through here, and so you'll find some pretty edgy scenarios, and some people just kind of pushing that limit a little bit more than maybe they should, or maybe more than their competitors would like.
Right, okay, well there you go. That's a man who normally is inside the car as we trundle around turn 9. The left-hander Kesby is a lot closer this time around, with Alec King sitting in 3rd place. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, because I can tell you one thing, the 60 minutes of motorsport is a rocking and rolling, and we are up and running. Dan Kirby gets an absolute job done what he had to do. He takes off the lead round turn 1, no problems at all. Lets the car run wide coming out of turn 2, locks it back in again, and through he goes. As somebody, unfortunately, I think it was Brian Hall in the background. What's going on with the GT3s? He said, well, Dominica leading us away here as well. William Schlittling in second place. Dom Fryman in third. Max Sommerlap in fourth. And they've got a bit of a gap back to JT Tammy, which I'm quite surprised about. They didn't close in. Then you got the rest of the GT3 field. It looks like it may have just been caught napping there. Whereas the Hypercars itself, Dan Kirby, they're all there near each other. The GT3s are a little bit more spread out than they would have liked there, Michael, as well. It looked like a couple of them got caught now.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was a bit of a slow start for quite a few of those GT3 cars. Also, Ben Kesby didn't seem to have a great start. He was immediately under pressure by King. So Alec King bringing right back to the pressure here as we come into turn 9. It looks like it's going to be a tight battle here for second and third place right off the start here on lap 2 as we see a little bit of oversteer there. Quite the correction. There's a lot of power with these rear-wheel drive hypercars, so you're going to be seeing that quite a bit tonight. But these guys are all over the road just trying to keep pace as much as they can with Daniel Kirby, who seems like he's already sailing away.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual seeing Ben Kesby sitting up that high in conjunction with being in conjunction relative of pace with Dan Kirby and Alec King. Don't get me wrong, it's normally Alec and Dan, and normally absolutely flying away as they drop it down the hill. We're on board with Alec now. Up through Moss we go. We're in third. Is it? Oh, he had to that down to second, regardless of what was going on, purely because Kesby did not get a good run through Moss. Now up Andretti we go. It is Dan Kirby out in front. Kesby in second place. Alec King in third. Is he going to look to make a move around the outside of turn 8? He's putting that draft in. Closing, 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 and there he goes. Round the outside of turn 8. Is he going to be able to get it done? He's going to have the inside for 9. He chopped his nose off. Poor old Ben Kesby into the plastic surgeon. Kim Kardashian knows one for you, buddy. Give her a call there because you have just lost your nostrils on that one. Did what I said he was going to do, round the outside, Mike.
Yeah, he really was able to hold it out. We know Alec King is very fast, but that was a little sketchy maneuvers for being lap 2. But I mean, he makes it look easy. He gets the job done. Does cut the nose off, but I think Ben Kesby was definitely becoming a little bit of a bottleneck there for him. So if he has any chance at all of taking this fight to Daniel Kesby, Alec King Daniel Kirby, sorry, Alec King had to get that job done. Also, there is quite a few K names up front there.
Yeah,
Kirby, King, Kesby. That was tripping me quite up.
Yeah, he had to make the move. Alec had to make the move. That was just basically near on a certainty there as well. Dom Fryman having a nice little bit of a ding-dong further down in the GT3s. This is for second and third place overall. This is William Schlittling in front of us here as well. So Don is doing a great job. Oh, as I say that,
getting off there.
Yeah, and then they make contact. Schlittling into the barrier. Don carries on like nothing happened there in his Corvette. And now he's got another Corvette behind him, which is Max Scumflap here as well, Michael. You know, Don not having a great time there, into the wall, a little bit of contact, and unfortunately, he's lost the position.
Yeah, he's definitely, Schlichting has definitely lost the position. Those Aston Martins are extremely fast, but these Corvettes seem to be taking it to them quite rapidly, actually, as we see, what, 3 of them in the, no, I'm sorry, that is, yeah, there's 2 of them in the top 5, and then you got the Aston Martins there. So the Aston Martins, very quick, very, very quick cars. It's going to be interesting to see. That is a Mustang right there rolling in 5th place there. So it's going to be interesting to see the different car manufacturers and how they're able to cope. But right now, you just got to kind of feel for Willem Schlittling. That was an interesting moment there, and he's able to kind of bring it back, but it looks like he's under a lot of pressure from JT Tammy in that Ford Mustang.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to make it easy either. If you've driven the Ford Mustang, you will know that it's a very tough car to get right. You've got to be careful. Oh, yay. JT Tammy getting, excuse me, getting about as close as he could possibly get there, Michael.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was very close, and luckily he's able to back out just a little bit as we ride along with him now. He's got a ton of power down the straight, but that Aston Martin's also very quick in a straight line too, so I'm a little surprised. We're going to see him try to dive to the inside of turn 8. Oh, that was a late move. That was a late move. Oh, how did Schlichting keep that from going around?
Oh,
That was an impressive bit of driving, an impressive save there by Villain Schlichting, because JT Tammy definitely put a nose where he should not have put it.
yeah, definitely did on that one, and cool blimey, did he make sure he was trying as well. At the moment in the hypercar, it's Jerry Chen out in front. He's got 1.5 over Lanny Hall, he's got 0.5 over Norm Graff, 0.3 over Gilles Lalonde. It looks like these guys having a little bit in the little bit of a ding dong themselves here. Is that Dan Kirby we got going through GT3 traffic? Yes. Yes. Okay. Wait. Now. And off he goes. He was clear. He was clear. Don't you worry about it. No dramas whatsoever.
I'm sure he was clear, but that was just tight driving anyways. But you can see just how in control Daniel Kirby is.
Well, I should hope so. He's a tester on this, so he should be able to basically get this car around without any troubles there as well. Mr. Smith, let's bring him back in, see how he feels about the start. Ross, been a bit of an action-packed start here as well. How's it looking from your end?
Yeah, typical Mosport with with everything we're seeing here, especially with Alec King. You know, those two cars at the front, rear-wheel drive, they've got excellent drive off the corner. It was no surprise that Alec was going to try and push Kesby out of the way to get up there, because he has iron sights right on the back of Kirby's exhaust pipes, and you can see him closing in here. Porsche is very strong around Kirby courses like this. A little bit weaker at the top end, maybe compared to some of these other drives, but man, it can carve up the curves like nothing else. Same with the Corvettes; they're going to be strong here. As we see, I think somebody was off there. Yeah, they're going to be cutting up through here really tight. As I mean, they're just going to constantly be feeding into traffic like this. They're just not going to have any reprieve. So yeah, it's going to stay exciting, I think, through the rest of this race.
Well, there you go. That's the insights there as well, Michael. And you know, King's closing on Kirby. Kesby's dropping back just a little bit here, mate. It's got to be tough in now. Alec King's going to have to follow Kirby through on his traffic.
Yeah, Alec King is definitely going to have to be right on the tail of him, and that's when things are going to get a little dicey. Is you start making moves that you don't necessarily want to make, but in order to keep pace with the leader, he's going to have to kind of force his way through a little bit more than he's going to want to. So hopefully he's able to stay out of trouble, but he's doing a really good job holding on to Daniel Kirby right now as we come through the traffic for the first time.
Yeah, slicing through as well. We've seen Alec do this before. I think it was Laguna. He was like a hot knife through butter, taking chances everywhere, sticking his nose up in everything. It was absolutely, well, I'd say horrendous, but for Alec, he said he was fine. But from my art, it was not good on that one, as he was making moves that really were very brave. But these two are going to continue to fight, I'm sure, for the majority of the race. I'll tell you, one man is doing rather well at the moment. It's Alan Holden. He is topping the front of the LMGT3 AM class at the moment. He has got Hypercars tucked up right behind him, so he's got to use his brain just a little bit. Stay over there, son. Let him go around the outside. Be careful going into turn 4, though, because otherwise there might be one coming up the inside of you just about now. Let it go, as Elsa said in Frozen. Otherwise you are going to be in trouble. But Alan leading the GT3 AMs, mixing it up in the pros at the moment. He's got Michalot behind him in that Mercedes in the GT3 Pro category as well. Good mix of drivers at the moment, as you say. We've got Alan Holder mixing it up in the pros, Stephen Miller and Cole McMillan in that second and third place in the AMs as well. So is there really that massive deficit between AMs and pros in the GT3s?
It doesn't appear to be. This is also a very short track, time around the track, so you're going to see a little bit more of the competition, but it's definitely a very close field when it comes to the AMs and the pros. I do think obviously the pros are pros for a reason, but it's in a track like this, you're going to see them mixing it up a little bit closer, as we see Alexander McQuarrie really getting on the back end of that Ferrari for Alan Holden. So, and we got that Mercedes right there. That is a pro car, like you said, so it's going to be interesting as we see the pros and the AMs fighting it out with the hypercar coming up through the field.
Yeah, the problem is as well for Alexander McQuarrie, he needs to either clear Michael Lock, because the leader of the AMs is in front of him, and that is Mr. Alan Holden. They've got a hypercar on to the left-hand side as well. That hypercar is very, very ginger. He literally could not have been any more worried about what was going on then, because he did not make a hypercar move, and we've seen that multiple times before where a hypercar makes moves and Gilles Lalonde off into the grass. So that's our GT3 car. Let's see if we can hopefully get this to work properly and see if we can see what that is.
Major battle for the lead at the same time.
Yeah, looks like they've had contact.
Tiny gap. Alec King has taken Daniel Kirby. We'll have to get to that in a moment. But yeah, no, that was definitely a dicey situation there.
Yeah, I'm wondering first though if Ryan Reyes went off. Yes, he did. But then where did Gilles Lalonde come into this?
Just two separate incidents? The same corner, maybe?
Just going around now. Let's go back live and pick up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, they both just kind of lost it in the same corner, same spot, just completely separate incidents. We jump back up front here. Alec King has gotten by Daniel Kirby. Daniel Kirby getting quite sideways there, going through the GT3 traffic. That was definitely a clenching moment, to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely was on that one, and I think this isn't going to be over. I can't see this being done just yet due to that situation that we nearly had there of Alec King almost running in to the GT3s as well. But Dan Kirby's quick, Alec King is quick, mind you, so this could be a really tasty fight. It's like a Tyson Holyfield #7, isn't it, really, or like a Rocky Balboa film. I don't even know what number they're on anymore. So let's see how these guys get on as well. They've got into Creed, haven't they, as well? So there's quite a few of them. What do we think? How long's Alec King going to be able to stay out for? We're 12 minutes in, probably got about another 12 or 30 minutes of fuel before these hypercars have got to pit.
Yeah, so we were seeing beforehand it was about 20 to 25 minutes per stint. Like you said, about 12 minutes in. He's about halfway through that first stint, so he's going to be pushing as much as he can here. But just, I want to go back to what Ross Smith said about the Porsche. That thing is just so smooth through these corners. It looks like it's on an edge, but he's just able to just coax it wherever he wants to put it, even just dicing through traffic like it's nothing. So Alec King has really got the edge so far early in this race. I'm a little surprised that Daniel Kirby is losing as much time as he is right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry. I think I've watched so many races with Dan Kirby and I really would not panic at any point whatsoever. And I think the problem is as well, although Alec is as competent as they come, there are moments where you sit back and think, oh, back it up a little bit, Priscilla, because otherwise he's going to have moments. And then, you know, I'm sure across the whole of the season, they've all had their own little moments, but the GT3 is going to wash out. Oh. And that's what I mean. They're not, it's them moments there as well. When you can sit here and see the GT3s coming out wide, you're going to try and go round the outside. They're going to be coming out regardless. They have not got the aerodynamic grip of the hypercar. And this is what I mean with Alec. As I say, he's as competent as they come. He's, you know, he's as fast as they come. But he's just got to pick moments somewhat a little better, I think, than what he does at times, as we see hypercar. I think that was Carl Strohel going off the side of the circuit there, where Dan Kirby's a little bit more control. He's waiting for the moments. He hasn't put himself in jeopardy, and he'll just sit there and either wait for the mistake or try and jump him in the pit stops.
All right, so basically what I'm getting from you there, Alex King needs to learn a bit more patience, and Daniel Kirby has all the patience in the world. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue here if it continues like this, because as we've been saying and as we've been seeing on the screen, these GT3 cars, they don't have the downforce. They're not going to be able to get through the corners as cleanly. They are going to drift out further on corner exit, and it's going to become an issue at some point. I do want to jump over to the chat. Nathaniel McPhee, a couple minutes ago, so it's been about 5 minutes, I think, now, saying that he's surprised we haven't seen any DNFs. I'm scrolling through my timing sheet right now, and I don't see any DNFs either. So, oh wait, we have one DNF.
Yeah, one DNF there as well. I tell you what, might be a good point to bring Ross into this one as well. Ross, you know both drivers between Dan Kirby and Alec King, right? You've been around them for ages. Who would you sit back and say is the most patient one? I've got Kirby, personally.
I'd agree with you on that. In terms of just sheer patience and sort of racecraft when it comes to dealing with traffic and long-term strategy, I'd say that Daniel is probably a little bit more even-keeled in that regard. I mean, Alex is, they're both very good drivers. They both can work a lot with traffic. I would say Daniel's probably more traffic aware. He's a bit more of a GT3 whisperer, whereas Alec is kind of just a move, get out the way kind of thing. But I mean, both of them manage their cars differently, but very close together. no sooner said. But it is to note, obviously Alec has been in the Porsche throughout the entire series. He's been running, whenever he's been in Saturday and NARS, he's been running the Porsche. So he's very well versed with it. This is the first time that Kirby's actually been out in competition in the Cadillac. So he's still feeling it out. And he's still trying to work out strategy, understand where the strengths and weaknesses are. So he might be laying back, trying to take advantage of some of the better fuel mileage from the Cadillac, and maybe try and nip Alec in some of the pit stop strategy. So we'll see how it kind of plays out as they go along.
I do love the fact that Ross puts it as a move, get out of the way. My dad always used to call that a bull in the china shop, basically. You know what I mean? It's like going in there with massive antlers and just going absolutely crazy. But let's see what happens there as well. Ross, thanks so much on that one. We'll catch up with Ross as the race has gone on as well. It's been very interesting to sit back and watch, and I think now, I don't think there's going to be a lap, considering where the hypercars are going to be going through traffic and going back down to this, so that you can see just purely from this gaggle of cars here, Michael, that they are going to be hitting traffic every single lap, I think, from now on. Oh, don't go around the outside. Oh, gee whiz, Batman.
That grass is just like ice when you get out there with that rear-wheel drive. You got to be really, really, really careful.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a very bold move, and I do want to...
That's the lead! That's the lead of the GT3, AMS!
Oh, and you gotta feel for him. That was just the wrong place, wrong time. And hold up, let everybody come through.
Oh, that was Alexander McQuarrie, and he was no, that is Alan Holden, sorry, who was tapped around by.
It was McQuarrie that tapped him.
Yeah, McQuarrie got him. Well, not got him. He's not some peanuts in it off a shelf at a supermarket. But if you have a look, you can see coming into the final corner, McQuarrie goes up the inside, boop, and boops him round, and then Overton has just got nowhere to go. He's just sitting ducks. Oh, yay. I do want to catch the end of his rejoin though, because it does get a little bit weary. So he's got to back up now as well. Let's not forget he's got to turn in circle of a double-decker bus in that Ferrari at the moment, and the other cars are going to come. Oh, yay.
It did look like when Alan was coming through there, he had the hypercar on the inside of him, kind of forced him outside, and that's really what opened the door there for McQuarrie. So unfortunate incident, but McQuarrie definitely coming out way better off than our previous AM leader and now third place, Alan Holden.
Yeah, not an ideal scenario for them guys on that one. See what happens, I think, when it comes to the rules a little, and the stewards coming out and stuff like that, because obviously there's been, contact. It was clear to see. It wasn't exactly like it was hard for them to miss it. So let's see what happens here as well as it goes on, and see after the post-race results. Matt Overton, however, has just bumped himself up a little bit here. So Matt doing a great job in 24th overall, and we can see on the multi-class on the left-hand side for Overton. Currently, I believe he's sitting in 7th to 6, 7, 8th place at the moment, chasing down on Michael Lock. So great job from him. The gap up front is extended quite a lot. We're going to jump into the Hypercar AMS here. This is Wayne Galvin currently at the moment. He is in the red and black machine. He's chasing down Norm Graff in the Cadillac. So we've got HRC Acura and Norm Graff in the Cadillac as well. Jerry Chen dominating the Hypercar AMS at the moment, to be honest with you, Michael, as well. 16 seconds out front. He's absolutely flying, is Jerry Chen.
Yeah, short track, 20 minutes into the race, already got a 16, almost 17 second lap lead. Yeah, I don't think Chen is having too much to sweat about right now as we see this battle very tight between Graff and Galvin. We've seen them battle quite a bit recently, so this is going to be a kind of a continuation. Ooh, had to back out of that one. That was very close, very tense racing here. As we see, that's Moss Corner right there. That's exactly what I thought. When these cars, you know, these hypercars are going to be in these battles, and then all of a sudden they come up on a GT3 car, you have to back out, and it brings you right under pressure from the car right behind you. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. So they got to be very careful. But luckily they were able to avoid the rear end of that Aston Martin on this lap, as we see a couple hypercars coming into the pits.
Oh, I tell you what, Wayne Galvin was going a lot quicker than that other hypercar. I can tell you that much.
Jerry
Chen as well.
Our leader.
No, it wasn't. It was. Where are we? Is that true?
Yeah, it was Jerry Chen.
What, going into the pits that slow?
Yeah. He look how much time he lost already.
Did he run out of fuel before he got there?
Oh, I mean, we were looking at 20 to 25 minutes. Jerry Chen, he is driving
22.
the Porsche. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's definitely right in that window. So, I mean, I think it's, we see Daniel Kirby and Alvarez are both in the pits. So this might shake things up a little bit. But Alec King in the Porsche having no problems with fuel consumption at this point in the race. So I wonder. Maybe it's part of the setup. Maybe Jerry Chen just started with just a little bit less fuel, but he definitely lost that entire 16-second head start there, as we see Pope now for the Hyper AMS coming into the pit. That's going to move Gaff up into second unless Gaff comes in for a pit stop. So this is definitely going to be interesting. The pit strategy is going to be huge for the battle up front, that's for sure.
Definitely will be there. And as Alec King
comes Alec right here.
King comes in, where is Dan Kirby in conjunction to that one? That is coming out of the pit lane, the other end actually. He's going around, down into 4 at the moment. I don't know whether or not he's going to get close to Alec King. This could be very, very interesting. Is Alex in his box? He is in his box. Kirby's on his way up the Andrade Straight. He's using a hypercar in front of him for a slipstream there. I believe that is Adrian Rice in front? But the graphic shows that Kirby's in front of Adrian Rice, and Alec King is on his way out now. Where is Dan Kirby in conjunction to that, coming around the final corner? Brian Hall takes the lead at the moment. Alec King comes out. Dan Kirby comes around turn 2. So, yeah, still a little bit of a way to go. Didn't get him in the pit stop. So,
huge incident. Lots of damage for that Mercedes right there. We're going to have to get a replay. Yeah, that was a beautiful catch, but yes, that was definitely going to be a big incident. We'll see if we get a replay of that momentarily, as we see Alec King in second place has Daniel Kirby 9 seconds behind him. So round 1 of the pit stops goes way in the way of Alec King.
Yeah, let's see if we can pit up.
Oh, we see another GT3 car off in the background there.
I think it was Eric Jacobs. It was Eric Jacobs. What does he get himself up to? Did he just... Whoa.
That doesn't look right.
No, it does not look right. Let's see if we can get that without it doing the wonderful moment. No, unfortunately not. So, yeah, not ideal from that one from Jacobs. But, yeah, he got Alec King got literally about 9 seconds. He has got Brian Hall in front of him at the moment, so we'll have to see how it all goes on that one for him, because I think it's going to be a very, very interesting race for Alec King as well, and seeing how they get on there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very important for him to make this move, showing that Brian Hall has not come into the pits. Unless he's able to get around him, he's just going to start losing time again to Daniel Kirby. So, although not to say that Brian Hall has been slow in any sort of fashion. His last lap was a 1:10.9. Alec King throwing down a 1:13.6. Daniel Kirby throwing down a 1:10. So Alec King definitely needs to get this move done, or hope that Brian Hall comes into the pits sooner rather than later. But Brian is staying out for another lap, so yeah, that Acura seems to be fueled up quite nicely, and definitely not having any sort of issues.
Yeah, and they've got GT3 cars in front. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, you're lucky that Mercedes paid attention there on that one. As they're coming out, I believe that is Alexander McQuarrie in front of them. Whoa, Alec! And that's that! And that is that! I don't know! And this is the problem when we talk about Alec King. You can't do it. What is that? That's like me sitting in my doctor's surgery and seeing all these people going in front of me, and all I want to do is jump up and scream and shout because I want to go in the doctor's. But this is he's just put himself in the doctor's. That is, as quoting our good friend Mr. Zach Sweeney, that is a single-digit IQ move right there.
Yeah, McQuarrie being taken out of the lead, Alec King taking himself out of the lead. He went for a move that just wasn't there and just ruined his race. Yeah, why he went on the outside, and then there's no one to blame but himself on that one.
Yeah, I can't even understand what the purpose would be. He knew Hall was going out that far. Whether or not Hall moved, or I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost, literally lost.
That's mind-boggling. Alec King has way too much speed, way too much pace to make a stupid mistake like that.
Ross, what's your opinion? We said it. Oh, it's happened again. That's Matt Overton off the side of the circuit. That's Gilles Lalonde's gone with him. What is going on?
This is what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the night.
What is going on here? So Matt's turned. Oh, Gilles lost it.
Oh, he lost the rear. Yeah, that was just the rear of that Alpine just not wanting to comply with the front end, and unfortunately the Aston was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All right, let's bring Ross in. Give me your analysis on the Alec King incident.
Well, as you guys were talking, because at first I saw it and I was kind of on the same page with you. It seemed like it was over eager, but on the second shot, it did look like Brian Hall was going to tuck left, as though Alec King were going to move over on the racing line to the left side, and I think Brian was kind of going that direction because maybe he'd think he'd be able to take that way around that GT in front of him. And then if you see it kind of at the last second, Alec King sees that leftward kind of motion where he just leaves a little bit of daylight on the right-hand side. And I think at that moment, he was just very decisively, I'm going for the right-hand side. And Brian Hall I couldn't tell if it was at the same time, or maybe he saw him kind of trying to just ride that corner out. But either way, you saw him immediately shut the door, and it was right in Alec's face. And it's so close. I mean, I'd have to see that from all kinds of angles to say if anyone was in particularly at fault, but I have a strong feeling that's probably going to end up going to stewards to take a look at.
Yeah.
James, can we get an onboard with that one?
Yeah, you're going to have to give me a minute to try and go back and find where it happens, because unfortunately it does keep drifting while we are going.
Because I see exactly what Ross is saying, and from a certain angle that could be right, but I think the onboard would really be the most telling. Just for us to kind of explain, obviously we're not stewards here, but initial reaction definitely doesn't look too great from the perspective that we're seeing. So, but that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, don't want to call anybody out. Or we already kind of did. So, foot in mouth.
Yeah, don't do a me.
Yeah, but yeah, I would love to see it on board just to see what Alec was seeing here. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So, ooh, okay. See if you can go a little bit further back there.
Give me 2 seconds.
It doesn't look as drastic there from his point of view.
Yeah, that's going to be a really tough call for that Stewart's going to have to look at, because on board with Alec, it looks like he opens up the left as though he's going to pass that GT over on the left-hand side. And Alec just, because that corner naturally carries you out. GT or Hypercar, you want to swing out wide there and then tuck back left so that way you can get a good approach on the following corner. But in that particular case, I think either Brian saw him late or thought that was reacting to the GT in front of him. Very hard to tell, but we'll see what the stewards say.
Wow, we're going to see what the
GT3s with the that Mustang is sideways. Oh, JT Tammy taking the long way around there with Johnny Gutierrez. Oh.
Yeah, there was a mixture. We had 5 cars, all one in the same bit of tarmac, and unfortunately, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's just not gonna happen on that one. That was Troy Uyan in the mix on the fight of that one. Is that John Uyan's little brother, Mr. Smith? Troy?
It's his son, actually, and it's good to see him back. He actually was here about over a year ago doing a little bit of broadcast commentary himself before JPP was able to step up and take the mantle. So it's great to see him come back after he had to step away for some life things, and he's putting on just as good of a show as he ever did. So yeah, great to have him back in the fold.
Well, there you go. Awesome stuff. How
There's
old
life
is he?
outside of racing?
Yeah, there is. How old is the young man? As Ross.
There we go. Sorry, he's I believe he's early 30s, driving around here and taking after the old man as far as being able to set up cars, take care of technology and stuff. So it's definitely very quick and well paced. So it's he's good one to watch.
Awesome stuff. Right, I can tell you the DNFs have gone up from 1 now. We've got Concalves, King, Gilles Lalonde, who we saw, Alexander McQuarrie, who we definitely saw, and Tom Nacella have all, unfortunately, DNF'd on this race. So we've got literally 27 minutes on the clock. We are going to be looking at the GT3s are going to start filtering in currently as well. That's Eduardo Bonica currently out in front there in the Aston Martin, doing an absolutely stellar job in the pros. Then Alan Holden is back in the lead, and where do we sit back though, Michael? We've seen obviously McQuarrie spin Holden. Get it right, sir, because I'm just about to give you some praise here and I don't want you to bin it. We saw McQuarrie spin Holden, and then McQuarrie was involved in the Alec King should we say. Some would say karma, others would say just unfortunate place at the wrong time.
I would say both for him, because McQuarrie, I know he spun Alan Holden, but from the view that we saw, that in my opinion, Holden was outside because there was the hypercar there. He didn't really have any place to go, tried to make the apex, and McQuarrie was just there, you know, he was committed to the apex already, so it was kind of more of a racing incident in my opinion on that one. Seeing the second incident where McQuarrie was involved, the second part of the Alec King incident, he's just wrong place, wrong time. So I think, like Ross said, there's going to be quite a few conversations going on in the steward room after the race, but that's multi-class racing for you, especially on a track like this. This is just absolutely, you know, stunning racing all up and down the field, but to think that we were going to get away with a clean race was just asking a little bit too much, I think.
Yeah, I think so too as well. I'm just reaching out to Alec and seeing, as he has DNF, whether or not he wants to pop in to the booth. So yeah, I'm going to see if he will come and join us. I think I'm being exceedingly optimistic that somebody that has just crashed out of a race would want to come and have a chat with me. Yes, I will. Ooh.
I do want to jump over to the chat real quick. We got a couple things going on. Diamond Jing, they should move to the right because they don't have any space, or they shouldn't move to the right because they don't have any space. I'm not sure exactly what you're referencing there, so if you can clarify that a little bit, we'll get back to that. Vinicius Goncalves was in the pits and his RF2 closed out on him, so that is just
unfortunate.
Tough there for Goncalves. Yeah, that's. But I mean, could be like in real life, you have engine failures and transmission failures, and everything just goes wrong there. So we see a hypercar off in the background there.
That was Wayne Galvin on that one. I can tell you just as much. Right, I have managed. He has come into the booth to have a chat with me as well, Mr. Alec King, leading the race. Let's see what it says. Alec, how are you?
Yes.
No, you are live, so no swearing.
Yes. No bad words. Just a little bit disappointed in myself. It definitely was an aggressive move, but I went back and listened to the broadcast a little bit and heard Ross say, and kind of what Ross said was exactly what I was thinking. Coming through that outside corner, it looked like for a second that Brian was cutting back to the left, so there was going to be some room on the right. And then when you get side by side like that in the prototypes, you look left and you almost can't see each other. So I thought that, there was enough room to come back on, to the racing line a little bit. I'd been coming through the corner and then coming through kind of on exit. You drift wide a little bit and just kind of saw. So I went wide to try and, make sure we didn't have contact going into the corner where we were, front to back. And I just thought that there was a little bit more room than what there was. And it ended up costing me big time.
Okay, so let me ask the $10 million question. Oh, Alan Olden, steady, son, steady. Stephen Miller takes the lead in the GT3 AMS, fair play on that one. So the $1 million question is, if you were to go back and had an opportunity to give yourself a mulligan almost, would you do it any different?
That's a tough question because yes and no. You want to say yes, you want to do it differently so there's a different outcome, but being behind Brian, I saw that the gap to Kirby behind was dropping a little bit. So, you really, and with the GT traffic that was there, I really wasn't trying to lose more time because, we all know how Kirby is. Kirby's super fast. So you try to just always make sure that you have that gap. Differently, what I could have done is, tried to have a little bit more spatial awareness. That's definitely something that's kind of hard to get in the sim, especially when you're on one monitor, is not having a full FOV to look out to see where a car is and everything.
That's true. That's very true.
So, when you're like that and, you go on the outside and then you almost get side by side and, coming through, if you kind of see on the replay, my front wheels were kind of ahead of Brian a little bit. Even though I was offline more, my front wheels were ahead. So when you get that kind of clarity, all you see is clear tracks. You go, oh, okay. You kind of have to have that spatial awareness and know he's there, but it's hard when you're in the heat of the moment and you just are looking straight and you don't see anything that you think he's not there. And in my scenario tonight, he ended up being there, which is not great. It does suck because we had a really good car for this race. I wasn't able to get as much practice in for this race. Truthfully, I wasn't expecting to run as good as what I was. Looking at some of the practice times and stuff from throughout the week through practice, I kind of was off the pace a little bit. Definitely, not by too much, by about a couple tenths to a second. But, I think as the tires wore in, I tried really hard fuel saving a little bit and really tried to save the tire. This is a really easy track to overheat the tires. And I think you'll see that later in the race. You'll see the pace drop a lot more. And it was even dropping a lot, into our first stint. Our tires dropped almost 20% just through the first stint. At least the fronts did. So, it sucks. I was really hoping to have a good race here. I did not have a good race here last year. I had a disconnect when running third here last year. So, Canada has not been kind to me, so I will maybe I need to go listen to the Canadian national anthem and go drink some maple syrup, and hopefully she'll forgive me and give me some good luck.
Don't forget, you got to salute the Mounties.
Yep, I'm gonna go do that now. I thought with running the plaid and, you know, being a lumberjack for the day that it would give us a little bit extra charm for O Canada, but no, that wasn't the case today. So we'll just have to, you know, it's all a learning experience, it's all a learning lesson. So moving forward, you know, just gotta learn a little bit of patience, and patience is a very hard lesson to be learned.
And we did
Yeah,
mention
Alec,
that, didn't we?
actually, yeah, I wanted to kind of point on that. Were you aware that Brian Hall had stayed out and wasn't in on his pit stop yet?
Yes, I was aware. I kind of figured that, you know, we have the fuel numbers and everything. So yes, he was going into the pits, but the problem is, you know, when you get behind him like that, like I was,
You were just losing so much time to
you're losing you're losing so much time, because in order for him to do those extra pit stops, he has to fuel save a lot more, so that pace drops. And, you know, I've had that before with Brian, you know, where he's been able to stay out. That's kind of been his strategy to try and, you know, he won't stay with the lead group as much, like with Daniel, Ben, Franco, and I. But he'll be able to fuel save and go 2 laps longer. So then at the end, he can save almost 10 to 15 seconds on a fuel stop and almost be right there with us. But it's still not enough pace to kind of still manage and be up front with us. So with that, you know, you could just see that it's like, hey, we're fuel saving a lot, which will help me out a little bit because I had just pitted, but it's not what you want to do, because, you know, he could have been, he definitely had to pit soon. I wasn't sure. It looks like on the timing screen and stuff that he's already pitted. But you know, you don't know. In that scenario, you could go, hey, he could be trying to go for a 1 stop. So if that's the case, he's not going to pit for another a while.
Yeah.
So you really want to try and make that move fast, just to, you know, not lose too much time to the guys behind.
It's hard to really tell yourself to be patient when you know you got to make that move. So that's definitely understandable from that point of view.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And it gets a little challenging, especially the Acura is definitely one of the faster cars in a straight line. So it's really hard to get a good bite when you're trying to fuel save off the corner to get a run on a car that's going to be faster than you anyway down the straightaway. So you kind of have to set it up, and you got to set it up in situations like that where you got to try and make the move whenever you see it. Just try and make it so you don't end up getting stuck. But yeah, just tonight just wasn't our night. So we'll have to come back, regroup. I believe next track is Road America. Road America was kind to me last year, was able to get the win. So yeah, now we just regroup. We start working on some setup stuff for that, and trying to still finish out the season. So I'm still pretty good in points, and you know, this has been my first DNF of the year, and we are allocated 2 drop rounds in the championship. So even though it does suck, this really doesn't hurt us too much in the championship points.
Well, on that perspective, it gives you a big fat 0. So, you know, if obviously Kirby goes on and wins, he's obviously going to have that advantage over you. But Alec, listen, thanks so much for joining us. Not many drivers would want to come in and have a chat after their little own ta-ta-ta as they have. But it's been great having you here there, bud. And thanks so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you guys. You guys have a good broadcast, and I'm going to finish out watching this race.
Take care.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. That was Alec King jumping into the booth with us and coming to give us his explanation of what, and it didn't seem to be any hard feelings. I do want to pick up what's going on screen at the moment. We've sat here for the last 5 minutes. This is Stephen Miller, John Meyer, Max Sunflap, and these guys have been having a right little ding-dong, right? This is like, you know, 3 old timers getting into the ring and doing a 3-on-1 wrestling. It's like Triple H, The Undertaker, and Kane all having a good old little ding-dong here, because they have been backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. There's been a little bit of argy-bargy, and you know, I do love a good little argy-bargy there as well. You should see me with a shopping trolley in Tesco's. I'll tell you, that old lady who's trying to rush me up the apple aisle, you ain't got no hope, darling, I'll tell you that much. As there is a GT3, so more little argy-bargy here as well, Mike. They're having a right little scrap down here.
Yeah, this is the battle for 8th and 9th in the pros, and that is also, as you said, Miller up there, first place overall in the LMGT3 AM, so it's nice to see him up in the fight here. But this has definitely been very tight racing, as we've seen a couple hypercars come through. Now we're seeing these two battle it out. John Mayer in that Porsche right there. The Corvette seems to be very strong here. I know Ross was discussing that earlier, but the Corvette just seems to have a lot of grunt on the long bits, but the Porsche, as we all know, is very, very, very kind in the corners until it doesn't want to be. But I believe what is the terms that they use in just describing it? The Porsche is great in the corner until it isn't.
Yeah, the Porsche doing Porsche things.
Or corners well until it doesn't. There you go.
Yeah, so there you go. What happened to Oliver Day? I can show you.
Jason Woodard also DNF'd while we were talking.
Yeah, he just went off and then stopped.
Is that just a disconnect?
No, I think that is just Ollie Day saying, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, I've had enough.
Yeah, that's, as you can see, he just literally comes into turn 2, runs a little bit wide, bounces it over the curb, and parks it.
Unfortunate there, but
there you go. It is unfortunately what it is, isn't it? We got right. Give a quick rundown of what's gone on so far as well. Dan Kirby obviously taking the lead earlier on. We did say his consistency would be the key, his traffic management would be the key, and it has. We have obviously seen what happened to Alec King. We've seen that multiple times. However, good luck for being a show. They've come to contact. Don't take him out. He's the leader. Yay! John Meyer.
Man, I think Daniel Kirby's heart was in his throat there for a moment. That was just absolutely just terrifying.
Yeah, I can tell you I can tell you what weren't in his stomach if you really want, but I'm going to try and put it as polite as I possibly can. You know, brown pants comes to mind on that one. We can have a look and see what happened to John Mayer there. Oh, that's John and Mac, I think. It is.
Yeah. The battle for 8th and 9th that we were just discussing. It looks like the vet just gets in the rear end of him. Hypercar just getting out of the way. Daniel Kirby had a little bit more space there, but still very, very tight between the Hypercars and GT3s. And John Mayer able to continue on pretty much unscathed, I guess. Yeah, somehow he came out 9 seconds ahead of Mac there. So I guess somehow Mac ended up on the wrong side of that.
Yeah, unfortunately for them there as well, you can see the hypercars up the front wiggling their way through traffic once more. Traffic has played an absolute, well, it's played quite a lot in that as well. Oh, Porsche Corvette. And you know what that was, right, Diamond, as well? Okay, I'll give you a bit of an insight into the Corvette. It basically just had more grip, which led to more speed. The Porsche didn't. And one run up to the other, and they were in the back end, unfortunately, on that one. That's all it looked like from my point of view. The Corvette just looked like it had more speed, carried it through the corner better, and unfortunately the Porsche didn't on that one. They are fairly spread out at the moment here, guys, as well. They've been after the pit stops, and some of the GT3s have been in as well. Jason Whitehead is the latest DNF. Max Somfenlap has just drove down the pits in that Corvette as well. I will say I did drive the Corvette today in another sim, and I have to be blatantly honest as well. Oh my God, I loved it. It was absolutely amazing. Really? Yeah, mate, I literally, I kid you not, I loved it. It was awesome. And do you know what else I did today as well? Set up a VR and drove it in VR for the first time today as well. It was incredible. My own driving ability wasn't so much. I spun the thing twice coming out of Druids at Brands Hatch. But the car itself, it felt awesome. It really did feel awesome.
I actually enjoy the Vet quite a bit, but I'm just a little bit surprised to hear you say it, knowing that you are more of the Mercedes kind of. Yeah, I know you like to stick to Mercedes, so I would think that maybe you would lean a little bit more towards the Mustang, as the Mustang is kind of in between the Mercedes and the BMW. So hearing you say you like the Corvette that much is actually a little bit of a surprise to me. But I do want to point out that Daniel Kirby has been into the pits. Franco Alvarez has already had his second pit stop. So this is going to be very tight up front here. Daniel Kirby coming back out. It was about a 5.5 second gap before we saw that big incident. And then Franco Alvarez jumped into pits. About a 6 second gap now. So Daniel Kirby coming through, keeping that gap as much as he can. But definitely been a very stressful race, to say the least, up front for Daniel Kirby.
Yeah, we've got Ross Smith unmuted there. He was going to come, and I'm sure he's coming to have a chat with us. Ross.
Just kind of a comment regarding some of the GT3 battles here, which are really great and really picking up as the race goes on. You see some of those 50-50 split weight distribution cars like the Porsche and the 296 really start to kind of change their demeanor, and I think that's really what happened with that Corvette. The Corvette's very balanced and stable throughout a run, and I think in the case of John Mayer, he was having a little bit more trouble getting through some of those corners in that third sector, and that CH can just carry so much more speed right through where you see him right now. And I think that's where it just kind of caught him out, got him in the back end, especially as there's more traffic around. And you're going to see more incidents like that over the next 5 to 10, basically the end of the race, as drivers try to contend with their cars basically running out of grip. So, game on.
Well, there you go.
I just want to second that. The Porsche does seem to fall away quite a bit at the end of stints, so we're definitely going to be seeing quite a bit of that. But John Mayer already on the back here of this Ferrari.
Stephen Miller.
That is
Stephen Miller.
Oh,
yeah.
That is Stephen Miller right there. Oh, he's an actor NSX. I apologize.
And they're both in different classes. That's why he's not coming up on the bottom screen. That's why John Mayer is actually battling away with William Schittling there as well. And obviously he's not showing up because Stephen Miller is leading the Hypercar AMS. And if I clicked on Stephen Miller and then we'll give you the box at the bottom, you'll see it'll be Stephen Miller and also Alan Holden. So there you go. He's got 4.8 seconds. Holden's in the background there as well. You've just seen him go off once more. Carl Stroll back out on the circuit. He's had a bit of a rough one, I can tell you that much. He's 3 laps down currently at the moment. So I'm sure Carl, well, he's out there. He's enjoying himself. Yeah, 3 laps.
I'm just going 5 laps on my timing screen.
Well, listen, 3 to 5. We'll split it in the middle. We'll call it 4. How about that?
Oh, he's 3 laps down to the Hyper Am. I'm showing his overall. My apologies. You are correct, sir.
Oh, how do them words taste? Love it.
I'm sure you do.
As we see these Hypercars weaving through the GT3s once more. They'll jump on board with the Hype guys. Got to go up the inside. There's one come out of the pits as well. Do not take Matt Overton out in that Aston Martin. You're going to run it. You run inside. He's coming. Don't do that. Wait. Now go. No? Okay, don't go.
Back out of that.
Yeah, he backed out of it as well.
Taking the outside.
Oh, no! Literally!
James, you got to stop bringing this stuff into the world, man. That would have been all you.
Well, listen, I'm not being rude, right? Hey, I'm not in the car, okay?
That was your manifestation right there. We all heard it and we saw it.
No, you're literally making it up as you go along. I was just a bit worried I was concerned for Matthew Overton out of all that one as well. You know what I mean? You've got to keep the boss man happy, dude. Come on, let's be real about it.
You're right. Hey, I already ate a little bit of crow just a moment ago.
Oh, somebody else is off the side there as well. I think that might be Adrian Rice, actually.
Wind's coming across.
Oh. What is
he just came across the track there, and there's another that BMW's just had trouble all night long.
Yeah, I've not kind of singled that one out, but let's have a look and see what happened to Adrian Rice here. Did he just get it wrong going into 8? Yes. Oh no, he blew up. Did he blow up?
Wait for it here.
No, just
wait for the region. Oh, he's able to hold it. There we go. Okay. It looked like when we cut away to turn 9, it looked like he was coming back on track, but. Yeah, I think like Ross just said there, cut a tire.
Is that Ryan Reyes in that poor BMW? Well, have a look. I've seen him a couple of times. Again, he just looks like he's... he hit the grass.
So easy to do there.
Yeah. Oof, that's a big hit, too. That was a big hit. Ross, could you tell us a little bit about the damage model? What kind of damage are these cars taking like tonight with a hit like that? How is that going to affect the BMW?
It's quite a bit from what we've seen, a bit of a boxing match, but so yeah, I mean it really depends just on where and the angular velocity that they're getting, because some of the more mild hits might seem rather innocuous, and at times it can be enough to either rip the wing off or really knock some of the arms around, and you can get some crabbing going on. I haven't seen anything that's really resulted in anything overtly major here. Obviously, if you rip a wing off, rip a splitter off, that will really affect you, because you really need that downforce through the twisty bits on this track, or else you're kind of hung out to dry. But yeah, anything that you see falling off the cars, we've done some destructive model testing where we get those to work properly, and they can affect you when you run over them, just like in real life. So we're very proud of that, and we're going to continue to implement that as we get the new cars into the series.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested, definitely excited to see the next gen that you guys are going to be putting out there. Storm Gang just absolutely just killing it, no matter what you guys do.
Well, I'll be happy to know that, obviously, you know, what the historic year is, but I'm still going to know that one as well. We've got Gilles Lalonde, looks like he's waiting in the booth here as well. Gilles, unfortunately, is out of the race. We did see the incident that happened with Gilles. He has come and joined us. Gilles, you are live. Let's keep it clean, my dear sir. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's just not my race.
What's your opinion of what happened? There we go.
I did a change to my button assignment on the wheel, and when I was pressing for cycling the HUD, it would bring the escape box, and then I wouldn't see anything. So it happens 3 or 4 times, and I crashed twice, and then I quit.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in contact with another car in the process.
Yeah, with Ryan, I just tried to get back on the track, and I did a mistake, and I crossed the track in front of him. But dang.
So, do you feel that the stewards may slap you with a little bit of a naughty boy penalty for the next round?
First, I'm a steward, and I would slap me with a penalty. But you
have to give your own. You have to give your own head a wobble, mate.
Yeah, if Ryan makes an IRR, I will get one. That's for sure. If he does not, well, it lays with him.
So, would you not make one against yourself, though, Gilles?
I never did that in my life.
Well, you know, as you just sat here live on YouTube, that's never going to go away and is never going to disappear again, and admitted it was kind of your fault. You know, are you going to slap one in for yourself for your own driving?
I'll do the John Ewan issue. I'll do it.
Okay, well, we'll see. Don't forget to give yourself a penalty as well while you're out there, mate.
James, don't pressure the guy into giving himself a penalty. What are you doing here?
I'm not. I think that was Lanio.
That is a wide run.
Yeah, Lanio. I think no, it wasn't Lanio. That was that Ben Kesby actually? Just taking a little bit of a dive out. It was, unfortunately. Ben's gone from 3rd down to 10th for the moment. Not having a good one there as well. Gilles, thank you so much there for joining us, there, buddy. Good luck in the next one. How do you feel about the next racetrack? We're off to Road America.
Road America is a fast track, and it's wider than Mosport. Mosport it's very, very tight when you try to go around the people, and most of the time it's so easy to just click with somebody. At the Road America, it's big and fat and wide, and it's going to be a fun, a less dangerous track.
Okay, Gilles. Well, much appreciated there, bud. Thank you for coming in for a chat, and look forward to seeing you there at Road America then, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Keep up the good work. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Well, that's 2 drivers with it who's come and told them about their incident. However, Gilles probably shouldn't have admitted it was his fault on the broadcast because, let's face it, you know, it's just a bit of guilt there, isn't it?
I think you egged him on that one.
Hey, listen, he said he was playing with buttons play with boxes come up on the screen, and he couldn't see nothing there either as well. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. This is a James Walcott Michael Lott battle. Now, they have been getting close together, as have... Oh! That's Miller! That's
how close is involved with that?
That's Miller! That's Sunford Lab, Miller, and... Oh, they're still going ding dong. What is
Ryan? Stay out of this, Ryan. Stay out of this. You've had too many.
Steve's on the
too many close calls tonight.
Steve's on the grass. They're having a little bit of afters.
I feel terrible for Ryan Reyes in this race. He's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, like 20 different times.
Yeah, but have you seen Max? I believe that is Mac in the Corvette there, and his car is done. He cannot keep that car on the racetrack at all. He's just got nothing. Look, he tries to get it back on, car just goes left, tries to bring it back on again.
No control.
No control whatsoever there as well. Let's have a look back and see how that happened.
Oh, Michael, you asked about the damage. There you go.
There's the damage right there. All right, we see these two battling it out.
Oh.
Ooh, contact there.
Oh!
Mac just had no place to go.
That was Matty Overton, just as I turned around and said, leave the boss man alone. And he goes and, unfortunately, comes up and ends up in the back end of Stephen Miller. So, that's decided it doesn't want to work properly now. So yeah, poor old Matty Overton. That's unfortunate, isn't it? I think as well, because Stephen Miller was leading the AMS. Alan Holden's now taking it on, and they just literally, this happened, and then poor old Sunderland just come around the corner. Look. He's got nowhere to go. This has been such
an up and down race for a lot of drivers, but that AM class, GT3 AM class, just keeps flopping back and forth between first and second place. It's a great battle for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, isn't it? They're swapping places, giving it all of that as well. But let's pick up on Mr. Dan Kirby. The timer has run out. We have gone round Moss, which I believe will be for the final time here as well. Max Sunflap's DNF'd. It looks like he's DNF'd 1 lap from the end of the race. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and people of all ages, I think you can safely admit the man that we said needs to run clean, keep his head, which is what he did do. He's coming round turn 9 now. Dan Kirby is going to wrap it up in his first outing in that Cadillac as well. He's going to take the victory there. It's going to be game over. Job's done. Jobs are good, and on I go. Thank you very much. Yeah! Dan Kirby takes the win at Mosport. Absolutely stellar job from him. Jerry Chen, I've got to be honest here, Jerry Chen not only took the win, or is going to take the win in the Hypercar AMS, he's also
got Scar Pope on him.
Nah, he'll be alright. He's also should wrap, not like that, he hasn't. If Scar keeps taking that Hypercar AMS sideways, he definitely is not going to be able to get there at all.
This is going to be a lot closer than you think it is, James. He's got the inside line. I think you spoke a little too soon, because Scar Pope is going to take that inside line.
No.
He's hungry.
No, he's too far back. He's too far back. Look, Jerry's there. That's Alan Holden. Don't take him out. Oh, Alan's going to go and interrupt Scar Pope. And now it's going to be Jerry's going to get the run down to the line. Jerry Chen wraps up the Hypercar AMS. Alan Holden takes the win in the GT3 AMS as well. And where are you? Eduardo Benico has already finished, and he is in the GT3 Pros there as well. So Eduardo Benico wrapping up the GT3 Pros, and then Alan Holden taking the GT3 AMS. So yeah.
I don't think we really talked too much about Eduardo. He was just gone.
Yeah, he just went and did his business, didn't he? And that was kind of the end of that one. But Michael, I'll tell you what, let's bring you up the results for you there, dear sir, and tell us who won what.
All right, coming through overall, we got Daniel Kirby taking the win with Franco Alvarez and Jerry Chen rounding out your top 3. Scar Pope coming in 4th place, Brian Hall in 5th place, Troy Uyan in 6th place, Wayne Galvin in 7th place, Lanny Hall in 8th, Ben Kesby in 9th place, and Norm Graff rounding up your top 10, coming in at 51 laps. Then we have Adrian Rice, Eduardo Benincia taking your win in the GT3 Pro class. Carl Strohal having a little bit of a rough day, falling back to 13th place. Chris Duodum in 14th place. Don Fryman in 15th. JT Tammy in 16th. Johnny Gutierrez in 17th place. Michael Locke, James Walker, and Villian Schickling coming through in 20th place there. 21st, we have John Mayer, Alan Holden coming through in the GT3 AM class as your winner. Stephen Miller coming through in 2nd place, 23rd overall. David Anderson, 24th. James Bowders, 25th. Matthew Overton, 26th. Cole McMillan in 27th place. Ryan Reyes in 28th. I got to give a shout out to Ryan Reyes. He had a lot of stuff going on, and he was still able to stick through and complete the race. Max Sunthulap DNFing in 29th place. We have Eric Jacobs also showing in 29th. I think that's going to be 30th place. Sean Kelly in 31st. Jason Whited DNFing in 32nd. Oliver Day also DNF. Vinicius Goncalves in 34th. Alec King 35th. Jill Lalonde in 36th. Alexander McQuarrie in 37th. And our first DNF of the race, Tom Nacella, back in 38th place.
There you go. Well done on that one. So that's the end of that one. We'll give the drivers a couple of minutes to see who jumps into the waiting room. I'm hoping they're aware we're a little bit further down, so they should be able to pop in and come and say hi. And I think we can safely say there, Michael, it's been a very interesting one, hasn't it? And I think one that basically we could sit back and look at and go, well, you know, it was all right. They did well, but could they have done any better? Dan Kirby, I don't believe, could have done any better. Jerry Chen wrapping up the Hypercar Rams. There was no reason for him to do any better. He did a great job anyway. Eduardo Bonica, again, amazing job in the GT3 Hams. And then Alan Holden, GT3 Pros, and then Alan Holden in the GT3 Hams. So overall, I think everybody did a job this evening. You know, some did it better than others, but overall, they did a great job.
I mean, multi-class at a tight, short track like this, we were going to expect it. We knew it was coming. They could try, but these incidents were bound to happen at some point or another. Honestly, when you said that we were on the final lap and falling around with Daniel Kirby, I was extremely surprised. That it kind of just flew by for me. Just action all over the place. So I thought it was a very, very, very exciting race. Unfortunate for some, great outcome for others. The stewards are going to be a little busy, but we have our first interviewee, so go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, we got Alan Holden from the Hypercar AMS GT3. AMS has joined us. Some may say he was lucky. Others may say he was the best driver on the day because he kept it on the racetrack. Well, let's see what he says to that one. Alan, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
That was a hectic race. I was not expecting that to be as hectic as it was. I really needed a miracle to win there at the end, I will say. Had a bit of a run-in with Alexander McQuarrie there. That's kind of why I was around, I think, 30 or so seconds down. It was essentially at that point, I was mostly just trying to limit the damage. And I somehow got back out ahead of Stephen Miller, but I think he took tires in that pit stop, so I was essentially, like, about 5 minutes ago, I was already kind of just waiting to see, as like I was already conceding second place there. So at that point, Miller, I think I got passed by one of the GT Pros. I think.
Yeah, he was involved in an accident.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get. One of the GT Pros, I think, was trying to get past him there in the last few minutes or so.
Yeah,
he got hit and spun, and then two other GT Pros were trying to split the difference, and they couldn't.
Yeah, that was Alexander McQuarrie, I believe. I know Max Sunthulap was the one that he'd had a little bit of contact there, Alan, as well. But look, listen, let's not take that away from the fact that you won, right? You were on the track, you kept it out of the trouble, and you went on and took the win. Surely you've got to be proud of the fact that, well, A, you survived, and B, you've done it and taken the win at the same time.
Absolutely. There was a lot of close calls there, I will say, between the hypercars, especially going into turn one. It was mostly just trying to see, which direction they were kind of committing to. There were some who would commit to like the outside, some would commit to the inside on some corners. So you mostly like especially there at the end of the race, it was the Hypercar AMs who were battling for the win there. I just kind of got caught in the middle. I didn't exactly know where I was going to go. I was just going to start to go to the outside, just try and stay out of the way. And I think it was Jerry Chen who decided to go to the outside, so I just kind of tried to stay middle as much as I could, and stay out of the battle as much as I could as well.
Yeah, it was Scar Pope that went to the outside. Jerry took the inside line, and they kind of split you there as well. But Alan, listen, great job, great victory. You know, you survived. That was always good. Great action down in the GT3s as well. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Of course, shout out to David Anderson, of course, again. He gave me that opportunity to drive for his team. I think this is the fourth straight win I've had on tracks I've never raced at before. So
nice. Well done to you, dear
keeping
sir.
that trend going.
Yeah, fair play to you. So,
unfortunately, I think I've driven on every single track that we do next in the calendar. So,
anybody else you want to shout out about it?
No, just Anderson, I think. It was a very good race. That was very, very well done. Of course, you know, just really unfortunate for Miller. I think he really should have taken that one. I think he did really well in that race, but other than that was a very good race.
Yeah, it was. Well, Alan, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy, and look forward to seeing how you get on at Road America next time.
Absolutely. I'll see you guys there.
Take care. Right, and now next up on the list is the GT3 Pro winner one, Mr. Eduardo Bonica. You didn't see him much today. It was like his own little ninja in that Aston Martin. He was slipping through, didn't appear on the screen, which can only mean one good thing for him. He didn't make any mistakes either. He survived till the end. He took the GT3 win. Eduardo, welcome in, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the event, the broadcast. Yeah, I did a ninja run today, so I was able to do the run really smooth, almost without accidents, and that's it. That was a good race from my side. I just need more competition now in this championship.
Yeah, you got out kind of in front at the beginning as well. Do you think that was kind of one of the benefits there? Because you didn't, you were out in front. You got the hypercars last almost on their first lap. Do you think being out in front sort of helped you massively?
Yeah, definitely. I think I got a clean run since the beginning. And even in the qualifier, I was able to do a clean lap. So in the end, I have a bit of luck too. And so everything was smooth for me.
Yeah, it went really well for you there, sir, as well. Going on to Road America next time out, how do you feel about Road America?
Well, it's a good track. I like it. And the Aston is not the best at the top speed, so maybe we got a surprise from other cars getting better situation to fight for the race and have more competition.
Awesome stuff, Ed. Well, thank you so much for joining me there, buddy. Is there anyone you would like to say thank you to?
No one is special. I just want to thank everyone who involved in this event, especially Matthew and you guys from the broadcast. And that's it. Thank you all, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Right, and next up, as we're going up in order, we can have a chat with... Whoa! As we interrupt him in mid-conversation here as well. He'd come and wrapped up the hypercar AMS, but also, just another little feather in his bow out of today's race, he went and took third overall. And, well, that's not bad at all, but let's see how he feels about it. One, Mr. Jerry Chen. Jerry, congratulations on your hypercar win there, buddy. How are you?
Thanks, guys. That was a lot of crazy traffic. Just cars everywhere, every lap, every turn.
Yes, we saw. You know what I mean? There was a lot going on out there, Jerry. What was it like being in the car, though, when you drive in a race like that?
It's like 100% focus every lap, every corner. There's no let up, and especially here, there's no long straight. So it's super focused, and you can't let up even for a second. It's very, very scary sometimes.
Well, you got the Mario Andretti straight, Jerry. Surely that's the passing place, isn't it?
Even there, sometimes I saw GT3s going 3 wide. They were in their battle, and I had nowhere to go. I had to cut through the grass a couple times just to make sure I didn't kill anybody. But yeah, that was so much fun. The traffic was awesome, and the last like 4 or 5 laps, I got stuck behind Brian, and I didn't know he was saving fuel. And since he was a Hypercar Pro, I didn't want to pass him. So I lost like 10 seconds to Scar in like the last 3 laps. And then into the last corner, I think Alan was seeing us come up behind him, and I went on the outside, and I just kind of parked it right outside Alan and used his Ferrari as a pick and blocked Scar. So.
Yeah, because you were on the inside for the final corner, weren't you? Alan was in the middle and Scar was on the outside. Alan kind of went to the left and inadvertently blocked him for you as well. But, you know, when you go in a race like that, it gives you the feeling that you've achieved something, right? Are we going to see you achieve this now going into Road America? Because that does still cement you at the top of the championship. You know, you're winning, well, it was 25 points, I think, going into this round as well. You know, you're going to go in with a higher one going into Road America. How do you approach that when you know that you're winning by that much of a gap?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely accomplishing to finish here, especially without any incidents. And I mean, this is a track that suits the 963, so I knew I had to win here to keep the gap on Scar. Because Road America, with all those long straights, you know, his risotto frappuccino is going to pull away from me at Road America. So I knew I had to win here to kind of keep the gap steady on the standings. But looking forward to it. I mean, the 963 is a little down on the top speed. So at Road America, I'll just going to be trying finish second behind Scar and try to keep that gap.
Well, awesome stuff, Jerry. Thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
No, just everybody on track was awesome. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I looked it as well. Jerry, thanks so much for joining us there, buddy. Look forward to seeing you at Road America.
Thanks, guys.
Right, there was Jerry Chen. Now we're going to bring in your hypercar, your overall, your man at the moment. He took the win. He kept it on track. He avoided the traffic where others did not around him. Let's bring him into the booth. Dan Kirby, welcome in, Dan. How are you, dude?
Pretty good. Tired, but feeling pretty good after that.
Okay, let's first off, Alec cleared you and had a gap on you. He had the gap going into the pits. And did you think after the first pit stop that you were going to take the victory?
The second he passed me, I thought it was over. I was just testing the Cadillac for the first time, and it was really hard to like maintain the same pace. His Porsche was just so much better at maintaining pace, so I knew the second he got by me, it was gonna take a miracle of like traffic, and apparently that happened. Something happened to him, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what happened. Him and Brian Hall had a GT3. Alec pushed for the overtake, and there was a little bit of a collision. To be blatantly honest, mate, I don't want to be the steward trying to decipher that one, because that is literally a bag of spaghetti and you trying to find one, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a nightmare. So I don't want to be that guy to try and work that one out as well. But, you know, going forward for you, still leading the championship, you're going to continue to lead as well going into Road America. Are you staying in the Cadillac or are you going into the Isotta?
For the Thursday NARS series, I'm going to be jumping around. Like I think the last race I was in the Alpine. Technically, my points should get wiped out because I've been jumping around between cars the whole time. So I wouldn't really worry about my points for NARS series.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what I'll probably swap cars again for Road America. Maybe go back to GT3. I'm not too sure yet.
Is there a reason, Dan, that you're doing that?
Partially just to test how the cars are doing, see like which ones need help, like maybe for BOP or something. Partially to just showcase what all the cars can do. Try and show the variety of our mod and try and get as many cars as I can to be competitive.
Is that you giving up on the championship?
For Thursday, yeah. I'm not really in any championship like for Thursdays. Yeah, I'll just be jumping around and having fun mostly.
Dan's being very modest. He's working really hard, as he said, to to look at the cars, to try them all out under race conditions, and to pick out the weaknesses and the strengths. And he does a fabulous job for us here at SGS, providing feedback. And as you know, George is constantly tweaking the BOP, both for overall, but also for Le Mans. And Daniel's a big part of the feedback that helps him do that.
So does Dan get an honorary championship then? Like you can, as I'm a celebrity, I can get an honorary degree. Does Dan get an honorary championship? Because obviously he's clearly still winning.
Dan gets his own shelf. Dan gets his own shelf.
Okay. All right. Fair play to you then. Dan, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. Well, we'll look forward to seeing whatever vehicle you're in at Road America. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go, mate?
Just usual, everyone here, CMS. This is super fun, awesome, good times.
Awesome stuff, Dan. Thank you so much for joining us, mate.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I do love speaking to Dan. I think Dan feels so awkward coming into the booth, but he does at least come in, and it does, we can have a little bit of a giggle as well. Matt's joined us back in the booth as well. Matt, how was it out on the racetrack for you?
I got murdered a couple times, recovered.
We saw.
Yeah, I enjoyed the race. I mean, for the racing set and the race going on, I would have preferred a better finish, but I had already sort of boxed that out with my stop and go, and then just ran the race that was presented. I think everyone's going to be watching the replay and the stream really with a great deal of interest about what went well and what didn't. I think the stewards may find themselves a bit active for the next little while as we get ready for Road America. But I cannot be at all unhappy with the number of folks that show up on to race this series, the VMSC, and also the V8 Supercar series we're running. It's just tremendous. The guys come out, they prepare, and we run a race every week. So they're pretty dedicated to come in. They put in good races. So I was just down to the ground happy with today, so I can't complain at all.
Well, I'm going to be very, very interested to see if Gilles Lalonde gives himself a penalty, because he said he would after that incident he had as well. But Matt, thank you so much for joining me. Is there anyone you would like to say thank you to?
Yeah, actually, some folks that don't get a lot of recognition. Although we do give them recognition, but I mean, sometimes unsung heroes are the folks who step in to be admins for us when Ross or George or I can't do things. Eugene Mazur has done it once or twice. I just had Carl Stroll come and admin for me. So, and Ross steps in to help me out, and I know he has some people that helps him. So it's particularly Carl and Eugene who have stepped up to help out when I can't be here. It's going to be one of them perhaps in a couple of weeks. So really appreciate their background support as they sort of come along in racing, but also show interest in doing stuff as well. So, to make things happen. I'm really appreciative. So is Ross and so are George.
Yeah, fair play on that one as well. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Matt. And we look forward to seeing how they get on at Road America.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Take care. Now, can I bring Mr. Smith down? I can as well. I'm going to have a final chat with Mr. Ross Smith, who was the Ted Kravitz of the VWSC Thursday nights. Ross, how was it out there for you, buddy?
I think that was a really great race. Action all up and down. We got to see a lot of different strategies play out throughout the entire thing. Lots of different car strengths and weaknesses coming and going. And then obviously that last minute desperation as you get into the single digits on the clock. It was just great all around. Yeah,
it was an absolutely evening of racing there as well. And Ross, would you want to be a steward at this moment in time?
There are probably a few incidents that we'll need a hard look at, but I think overall, I mean, as many off tracks and things that were going on, it was just running a little bit at the limit for some guys. There weren't too many races ruined tonight, so I think overall it actually wasn't too bad, especially for the nature of the track. It's fast, it's short, it's tight. So as far as overall racecraft and everything, I think everybody did a fairly good job. And I'd like to give a little shout out to Don Fryman, who's on the Storm Gang team. He finished up on the podium there for the GT3 Pro. you know, he's got some years and experience behind him, and just showing that, yeah, you know, I can jump in after being away for a while and still show these young guns what's up.
Awesome stuff. Well, Ross, thank you so much for joining us for the third voice in the booth there as well. Much appreciated to you. And are you going to be back on track for Road America?
I will probably end up missing that one as well. Unfortunately, there's still some responsibilities and a few other life things going on. But I can say that I will be back for CTMP and the two mech rounds that we're going to be having. So I'll be around. I'll be in your ear and still get to enjoy all the time with you and the broadcast team. Thanks to Michael for coming out tonight, and yourself for staying up so late. I know it's a challenge sometimes when you.
I won't tell you the time now, but yeah. The thing is, though, you don't mind when it's good racing like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing with this show, Ross, as well. We've had every single race has been just an absolute barnstormer, isn't it?
It's been great, you know, and it's a testament to the mod, to the drivers, to the way that it's been set up. I mean, it's really great to see. You know, you don't have anybody that's really abusing anything here. There's a lot of good camaraderie. There's a lot of close, tight, very competitive racing all up and down. We you know, I just hats off to everyone involved with the process of splitting the field between classes and everything. It's just, like you said, puts on a really great show.
Yeah, it definitely does there as well. You can see the schedule on your screen in a moment. You can see next time out in about 2 weeks' time. We're heading off to Road America. Last word from Michael as he is in the booth with us. Michael, thank you so much for joining me there, buddy. How was it for you?
Man, every time I watch these guys race, it's an absolute blast. This multi class racing, it's just always hits the spot. So I'm glad to have been here. Great race tonight, and you know, great broadcast. I love working with you, so I'm glad that I could be here with you to fill in tonight.
Awesome stuff. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Nathaniel, yes, I will be there for Interlagos. I have to be there for Interlagos, being it's my all-time favourite circuit ever. So stay tuned for that one. And that is, of course, talking about the VWSC, his modern. On the 20th, we are round 8 at Interlagos for 90 minutes, to join us for that one. And then the following week, we've got round 8 from Road America on the 25th. And then on the 27th, we are at round 7 of the VWFC Historics off at the Copper-Carotti Hill Climb. So that's going to be a new one, as I've never commentated on a hill climb before in my life. But let's see how the hill get on. And as always, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Michael David and our very own Ted Kravitz, Mr. Ross Smith. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.